The Po' Boy Pundits podcast is brought to you by What Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. Pulpery Media presents Po' Boy Pundits with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the political headlines that grab our attention and all those little jerks that infuriate us.
Whoa, that's a gigantic pink base running glove. So, like I was saying before, Longshoremen on strike.
Yeah, so we're... Yeah, all right,
their contract ran out October 1st.
Right.
And part of the contract, the previous one, was no automation. And they literally broke the companies.
Yeah.
Broke that and inserted automation. Maybe that was COVID that caused that. I don't know the ins and outs of it. But at any rate, October 1st, that contract ran out, and now they're asking for this. And, of course, more money because, yeah.
Yeah. Because they are vital.
Watch. Just wait. Wait like 6 days. The middle of the country might not feel it, but like us.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to suck. We might need to go buy toilet paper. Get your toilet.
Oh, I'm glad I did my Costco run. I'm set for like a year.
Yeah, we're about to be there too.
Well,
but yes.
So I guess I mean, like the first thing is, I mean, everything's moving towards automation. So
Correct.
Auto workers had this a long time ago when it's like you're replacing us with robots that put the door on and solder it and. They all know that that's what's coming. Is that eventually you're going to have giant robot or automatic cranes that unload and
computers did that with like corporations,
right?
Yeah.
And
it's like we're going to build this program in this computer to do 12 people's jobs, but you're going to do it.
But you can't have. The bulk of those workers are the ones that do the inspections, like whether they're inspecting the actual ships that bring it in
or the containers.
Making sure there aren't, a bunch of
there's only
sex traffic.
And I'm not a longshoreman, but only so many people can get up and move those things onto a truck, right?
Yeah.
Which that's where they're talking about automated and scanning containers, I guess. But you still need humans.
Yeah.
Like, that's gigantic, super important stuff. Vital to the economy.
Yeah.
And living standards.
Correct.
Like, you need humans down there doing their job.
Yeah.
Incorporate it. Automation. If they were smart, that's exactly what they would do. They would come up with a line right in the middle. This is what unions are fucking for. To get their workers where they need to be, but also realizing, like, okay, there should be some kind of middle ground without giving up too much.
But so usually what it'll be is that they might, the companies that, and a lot of this too, though, is like most of the port here is controlled by the federal government.
So I was going to get into that in a minute about what, other than the people shipping in and out goods, but like who's running the ports. In this, though, is that what you're talking about is eventually, that workforce is going to be there to take care of the robots that unload and to do the things that they can't, but they're trying to keep their wages down here
stagnated.
Right.
Yeah.
Trust me, we all know that.
Exactly. So this isn't song as old as time.
It is. But I mean that's what it is.
But that's what
they do it like.
That's what it's
all
about.
The sports.
Yeah. But they,
the auto workers, the Teamsters, like that. Good on them. Everybody. Do doctors or the medical profession? Do they have a union? I know there's.
No. I mean, there might be, at like individual hospitals, they might work,
Yeah, I only say that is because, they're fucking doctors. They're.
Yeah, the doctors might have their own CBA and the nurses might, but that's what that healthcare corporation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since
there's not like
a fucking private. Everything's privatized here. It's fucking gross.
There's not a national doctors and nurses union, but maybe there should.
Oh, you're right.
But,
You have to take the bar in every state you go to because
and you have to get licensed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because states are independent.
But so the most of the ports that are in question because they are so vital.
I mean, I looked at
to
it, and
the
it is
country.
literally from Texas all the way up to Maine. I
Yeah.
think it stops at Rhode Island, but
And New Orleans, if you combine New Orleans with Laplace, that's the largest port. Laplace is like the largest port in the country.
Yes.
And then if you add on
And then you just
what we have here
come
with
up
New
the
Orleans, it's like 5 times larger than most everything that
And
everybody's used to. But
you can drive down River Road and see there's no empty spots. There is fucking shit all down the river.
but all that's owned by the federal government.
I didn't realize that. Is it like that in all of the ports? Or
It should be, yeah.
Right, because they're the
And-
ones importing and exporting the goods
Correct.
to the country.
Right, and so tariffs and duties are done.
200% tariffs, man. It's going to save us lots of money.
That's where that happens. But but that's also why here you got to go through a gated thing. You got to show credentials.
I know. I drive by it every day.
You
twice
can't drive
a day.
up. Yeah, I mean one of the entry spots is by Rouse's, and I drive by that every
there
fucking
is.
day.
That's where the gate is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I've always wanted to try to just drive up to that gate.
So I mean, on a little bit of an offshoot here is that's why it always bodes well for New Orleans is that the federal government, now the city government and the state government might one day just go fuck it, we don't need. But the federal government
No, they blatantly just go fuck it.
needs New Orleans to survive because of the port we have here.
And the fucking river that divides the country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's all here.
right. So the federal. I mean, part of the reason why Thomas Jefferson wanted to buy it, and then why
And he did. In a large
Even in-
swath of the country.
even in Katrina, the first thing that opened up in Katrina was the port,
Yeah.
so that they could get everything moving back up the
Just
Mississippi
think
River.
about that. One of those giant barges
Yeah.
destroyed a levee.
So that aside, though, is that I think, and then the federal government leases the space for
Well, of course. Yeah.
the shipping companies to bring
For the
in.
local
Yeah.
governments.
Yeah.
I get it.
But we get. I mean,
But
they
the workers are all getting
no, but
government checks.
or the space on the port, they lease that out to
Oh,
companies
okay.
as well.
So Company A has these workers and Company B has these workers.
Right,
And
or-
then the
yeah.
government is in
Yeah,
charge.
yeah, they're-
That's why they have the wharfs.
Right, there are a lot of like Bay A to Bay Double A, and or if you're ever, do you ever have beers on the top of Nola Brewery right there on Chapatulas?
No.
So they got a balcony up there, and if you stand on the balcony, you can just see right over the warehouses on Chapatulas.
Yeah.
And it's still like half a mile.
Yeah.
And it's just cargo containers as far as I get. But
Yep.
I think there's like 10 or 15 different companies that
So they
deal
work
with
for them. So
deal with different goods that
when
come in
they're
and out.
going on strike, they're striking against the federal government. Probably the companies they work. Well, the union works with all of them, so it's probably
they have,
all the companies.
Yeah, it's it's a nationwide union. So they all, and that's the big thing now is that what everybody's kind of pointing at is that the federal government's going to have to step in.
Absolutely.
And the Department of Labor and the president are going to step in and negotiate this out as quickly as they can.
I was going to say because
and I forget where I read it or heard it. I didn't have NPR playing this morning, but somebody one guy said is that for every day the ports are closed, it takes 5 to 7 days to get it back on track. So, think about that.
I mean, are we going? Yeah, we'll have to start turning boats away, or they'll just have to anchor offshore.
Right.
We're not going to be able to. I mean, I guess there won't be any. But what if there's a boat out there right now coming from another country?
Well, I mean, here, large portions of the banana crops come through New Orleans, through Chiquita.
So you've got all these fucking ships.
Right, so they're just going to sit there, and that shit's going to rot.
Right.
and then once everything gets back on track, then you got to bring in new. So you got to get rid of that shit, send those ships back, and then and then bring it back in, and and all right, we can go without bananas for a while. That's not a big fucking deal, but you forget like all the other shit like cars.
Yes.
Fuck it, if we're toilet paper coming in from paper companies outside of the fucking country. All that's going to be shut down, and it's unfortunate, but this is what happens when you have a federal government and state governments that ignore or try
essential
to destroy
workers.
Unions.
Yeah, they always talk about essential workers, right? Like
they're the bread and butter of everything.
Just like if everybody who drove an 18-wheeler just decided one day to say "fuck you all," this country would collapse.
Oh yeah,
the veins of this country.
No, what was it? Yeah, that's some crazy conservative guy wrote a series of books about this was back when Obama took office, so they were thinking the world was going to end. But he did bring up a point, which is if the trucking, and again, like with this, if the shipping industry in this country stopped,
right,
it would just create chaos, across the board, because all of a sudden, you go to the grocery store and you want, and again, we're getting into pumpkin spice season.
Oh man,
but imagine if
are they looking at if it hit him in the ball?
No, if it just touched him. But imagine this country if people can't get their pumpkin spice lattes. All of a sudden, people are angry, and then little things turn into big things, and those big things turn into bigger things, and then the next thing you know, we're invading Lebanon, and then
nobody's got their. Oh my God, they could cancel Black Friday in this country.
Oh yeah,
man.
That fucking show.
Mr. Walton better fucking do something. I guarantee you, all of his shit is outside of this country.
You mean Stan Kroenke?
Him too. But who owns Target and Costco?
I forget. We're
two separate people.
Yeah.
Okay. But Walton owns Wally Worlds.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, the Walton family does.
That's what
which Stan Kroenke is a part of.
Is he?
Yeah, that's where his money came from. He married a Walton.
Oh my Christ! I had no idea.
Doesn't that?
That's gonna live rent free in my head for like a month.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Don't you love him now?
Fuck that guy.
But
you know what? Never mind.
Anyway,
I hope zero merchandise makes it to his stores.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
The one part about the reporting though I don't like is they've been talking about the pay increase that the union is asking for, which is, I think it's like 66%, which, I mean, just remedial math person here, that seems like a lot, right? No. But when you've been getting bare your bottom wages
when you're getting
for that industry,
$7 an hour, you want but yeah.
Well, I forget where the information came from. If I had to have read it, but that industry, starting salary is $80,000, right, which is good. But at the same time, you're going you're dangerous work.
Facts.
And essential work, as you pointed out.
And outside.
Yeah.
And it gets hot here.
Right.
And it gets cold. And, that's not...
Or if you're up in Boston, yeah, you're fucking freezing your nuts off in the winter.
And that's a 7-day-a-week gig.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Right. They're closed for federal holidays.
But, I mean, even then...
But there's still people...
that doesn't ever really shut down.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's one of the industries that is energy plants.
Yeah.
There's people always
hospitals,
there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hospitals. That's the other one. Right. Oh, the police department.
Yeah, fire department.
And socialism, man. Fuck.
The following segment has been brought to you by Whatever Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. The Po' Boy Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media. Produced and edited by Ben Grimion. Marketing by Brock Ryder. Graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion. Music by the Heisenberg Compensators.